Welcome everybody to the AFA, the Action Figure Arena. Here we review the talents of miniature warriors to prove to the world once and for all that you don't play with dolls, you prepare action figures for battle. A man in a trench coat. Today's review will be the 1/6 scale Toys Era, the Ock. One badass, unlicensed figure of Dr. Otto Octavius from Spider-Man 2, starring Tobey Maguire and Alfred Molina. Toys Era, the Ock. Comes in a pretty standard shipper box with no other markings other than PE006. I have no idea what this stands for. This shipper box is just about as plain as you can possibly get. Inside that plain shipper box is the art box. The Ock 1/6 scale collectible figure. We actually have what looks like kind of like a negative of an image of the Ock. On the sides we have more images of the mechanical arms. On the back, one of the ends of the mechanical arms, the grabbers. Opening up the box, we see the figure itself with that pissed off look. He's got his goggles here, two of his mechanical arms right here. Extra hands, and this looks like the clamp for the figure stand. We have another layer to go to. And in the bottom of the box, we have additional parts for the stands, the figure stand. Bags of money. Ooh, I'm looking forward to that. And the additional 2 mechanical arms. Let's get everything out and take a closer look. And here is Otto Octavius as he appears when we take him out of the box. And he stands right around 12 inches tall. Pretty standard for a 1/6 scale figure. We see he's got his characteristic outer greenish overcoat covering his brownish or his brown leather-like undercoat. We'll take a closer look at those. Just going to turn him around. See one of his hands that's already attached. We'll take a look at those in a few minutes. His coat, the attachments for the 4 mechanical arms. He even stitched up some extra tears in his coat. He didn't want to have it looking too shabby. And it looks like there's just tears in here. That is Otto Octavius. Here's a close-up look of Otto Octavius. To me, off camera, it seems to capture Alfred Molina, who plays this part a little bit better. Although from the side, it seems to look a little bit better, a little more like him. Got his characteristic, rather pissed off look. Very nice furrowed brow. Got a bit of a frown going on. The shading, the paint applications, very nicely done. Does not look very plasticky at all. His eyes are looking up. Hair is sculpted and painted well. So yeah, I think he looks more like Alfred Molina from the side. Not that it's a bad sculpt. And of course, I guess I don't have to remind you guys that this is not a licensed figure. But I think they did a really nice job capturing his likeness, Alfred's likeness, and Doc Ock's likeness with this sculpt and the paint applications. Then if we zoom out, one of the things I couldn't help but notice, if we scan down his coat, notice it gets bigger and bigger and bigger, wider. It's really, really fluffed out at the end. It's a bit strange looking. I'm thinking that Toys R Us did this to just accentuate any manipulation of the coat, more dramatic effect, but it is, just as it sits there hanging freely, it looks very strange. It's narrow at the top, bell-shaped at the bottom. So that's a bit odd. So his outer coat is the, I guess, what, light olive drab or green. You'll notice the button placement is a bit strange because I actually have a button that's all the way up here on his left shoulder, or his right shoulder, our left. I can't really move the coat too much because of the attachments for the mechanical arms. We have a side pocket, a chest pocket all the way up here, and they are not functional. But we do have a bendy wire going all the way up both sides of his coat and all around. So you can get very dramatic effects with his coat if you wish, just playing around with that. I'm not going to be trying to pose that on camera. I'm not very good at that. But it's a fairly soft material. Feels durable enough. I'm going to take that off and we'll take a look at the brown overcoat. All right, just a word of caution: if you decide to take off his his green outer coat, you want to be careful getting this off. You don't want to just pull it off because we have those the attachments for the mechanical arms poking through, so we don't want to tear these holes even bigger than what they are. Again, just taking care to do that. It's not too difficult to get it off. And here we've got Otto Octavius in his brown overcoat. Yeah, he did actually have two overcoats. I don't know if in the movie his inner brown overcoat was sleeveless as it is here. I guess most of us, if not all of us, are going to pose him with the outer coat on. You can see he's been working out. I got the big biceps and the triceps going, you know. So yeah, very muscular dude, at least in figure form. Again, the attachments for those mechanical arms. His left arm is just as huge as his the right arm, you know. He's been working out, you know. Forget the mechanical arms. I need my other arms to be strong and big. So yeah, pretty muscular figure. I took the liberty off camera of unzipping his inner coat, and it looks like it came where this zipper doesn't have the pull, which is a shame. I don't know if it's just mine, if it broke off, or if that's how it was manufactured. I have to look at the other reviewers. Let me know in the comments if you want. But this was a pain in the ass getting this unzipped without a zipper pull. And here is our Otto Octavius sans overcoats. So he's got a pretty seamless muscular body. He's got the rubber piece that fits over his torso, accentuating his huge pectorals muscles to impress the ladies, to impress the girls, you know. And his back as well. Seamless, nicely done. Not that we're really going to pose him like this. At least I don't plan to. I think most of us will choose to have his coats. One thing I really like is this harness, for lack of a better word, that holds his the attachments for those mechanical arms. Very metallic looking. I don't know if it is metal. I don't think it is. But it is very nicely done. Nicely painted. Just shiny enough without looking cheap or chrome. He's got these olive drab khakis on, cargo pants, I guess. And these are functional pockets. His body, his torso, is much more tan than his face. Not sure if this is really coming across well, but it's a bit of a mismatch there. Again, I don't think it's a big deal because myself as well as other people will choose to keep his coats on, so you're not really going to see that. Not even going to see his arms. And his shoes, they're just solid rubber. Look kind of like leather as far as I'm concerned. By the way, one of the things I wanted to quickly mention to you folks, notice these single joint elbows. You know, it's supposed to look more realistic. This is what people like if they're gonna display their figure shirtless or short sleeve shirt, tank top, whatever the case is. These do not look more realistic to me. Look at that giant ball or bulge we got going on. It's like he's got two biceps. I was never a fan. But more importantly, as you will learn, absolutely, that's how I feel about those. Right now, you're probably thinking it's time to discuss accessories, but I refuse. I will not. Because we all know that only dolls come with accessories. Things like a dress, a pretty pink pocketbook, a pretty pink pearl necklace, and of course it wouldn't be complete without a pretty pink hairbrush. That's right, they don't come with accessories. Action figures come with smack-accessories. I said smack-accessories. That's more like it. Smack-accessories. To lay the smack down. What do we have here? We've got this, I don't know what this is. It almost looks like a gun holding hand, but he never uses a gun. So I don't know. Not sure exactly what this is for. Maybe to point. Comes with a fairly, I guess a matte black paint with just enough wrinkles and detail to make it look like gloves. We've got two fisted hands. Not that he really needs these to throw punches. I mean, he's got those mechanical arms, which we'll see in just a minute. Somewhat open gripping hands for gripping these money bags we'll get to. And then these, I don't know, gesturing hands maybe. Again, nicely done detail as far as the paint apps and the wrinkles we'll typically see in a leather glove. We've got 4 bank bags. Do bank bags actually say bank on them? I don't know. This figure comes with 2 sets of articulating arms. Yes, they are different. These 2 down here are slightly different than these 2 up here. Difference mostly in how these open up as opposed to this set, which has a joint that articulates right here in the middle. This first set has a joint that articulates a little bit further down. They are all painted metallic gray, like a gunmetal color. They all have these segments, almost looking like a spine, I guess. These little red dots here, and of course we have that similar painted red dot in the center. These are not, they don't light up though. Hopefully the camera can pick this up. We got some wiring going on inside. Very nicely detailed. And then the other set, same reddish dots, maybe lights, not sure. But again, this is not a light up smack accessory, pardon me, smack accessory. We also have sculpted in details. I don't know if the camera's able to pick that up or not. On the inside. And these all articulate at all these different joints. Every single piece is separate. So we can get some really tight bends, tight turns in these things. And while the sets of arms are actually slightly different from one another, they all articulate similarly very, very well. These are not heavy. They are made of plastic. The joints are not really stiff nor loose. They're just right. If you wanted to make them hold a heavy object, they probably won't be able to. And the last thing, we get a choice. As far as our figure stand, we have the typical crotch holding type if you just want Doc Ock standing. And you also get this flying pose arm, which is, whoops, very, very stiff. And feels like it can hold a lot of weight. It is spring loaded. The waist grabber part. Alright, here he is with the arms attached. I have to have him leaning forward a little bit.
A man named Otto Octavius has 8 limbs.
I know. What are the odds?
And each of these arms, whoop, there he goes. Each of these arms pegs into, or plugs into those pegs, or 4 pegs. Each arm has like a cup. You just have to snap them in. And I'm sure by now a whole bunch of you folks are screaming at me. Screaming because I left out one item, one SMAC accessory. His goggles. Rookie mistake, folks. This is my very first video. So I don't think he wears these throughout the movie. It was pretty much at the beginning when he is playing with that new source of energy. And these are to protect his eyes. The rest of the movie, I think he just wore sunglasses. The thing is, he also had like a hat, a fedora or something, I think, again in the beginning. And that really completes the look. And when you add sunglasses to a lot of these figures, it kind of takes the focus off any imperfections. And they really, really make the figure, really make the figure look much more authentic. So the head is separate from the neck. So what we actually have is some articulation between the head and the neck, and between the neck and the torso. So combined, he looks way down. He's able to look up, and we get some neck pivot to the right, and some neck pivot to the left. He can look to his right and to his left. I'm sure it can spin all the way around. I'm not going to bother doing that here. One of the only 2 gripes I have with this figure is again that single bend elbow, where he can bend in at 90 degrees. That's pretty much it. Then as far as waist articulation, I don't even want to risk it. I think somebody else broke theirs in a review. He has a little bit of a crunch. It's almost not even worth doing, primarily because of this harness on him. So I'm not going to bother even trying. I apologize if you were looking forward to that. But it would be minimal if it was there at all. Leg articulation, just about 90 degrees to his body, kicking forward. Doesn't kick back at all, really. Looks like it's a double bend. Doesn't bend in that far, but you don't necessarily need to for this figure. He does have really nice ankle articulation. Toes can point up, point down quite a bit. We also have really, really nice ankle rocker here. My second rookie mistake. I didn't show you the range of motion for his shoulders. So they don't quite go perpendicular to his upper body. I can't seem to get him up any higher than that. And by the way, that single bend elbow, it does rotate at the elbow. There goes his hand. Here is Otto Octavius looking like he just walked out of the bank, made a big withdrawal. These are the open, somewhat open hands. And by the way, one thing I didn't mention, all the hands made of a very, very pliable plastic or rubber, something. All right, I think I found a purpose for those open hands. He's confronted by the police or even Spider-Man. They're asking him, where's the money? He's saying, I don't know. I didn't take it. Meanwhile, it's all in his mechanical arms behind his back. So here's one pose with that flight stand I was telling you about. Look at that. He's hanging on to the top of the action figure arena, looking down at us puny little people. And here he is, ready to put the final finishing moves on an opponent. He's picked up the SMAC accessories table. Now, I'm a firm believer that just because a figure doesn't come with certain smaccessories doesn't mean we can't smaccessorize however we wish. This right here is a 1/6 scale Orange County chopper. We see here that Doc Ock is enjoying some, fresh air, riding along, his coat blowing in the breeze. And here he is from the front. And here he is from the other side. We have seen his articulation, but how does that translate to what he can do in the action figure arena? Let's get ready to rumble! I am more than just a man in a trench coat.
I heard about you. I also know why you installed those fancy mechanical things and built your little fortress of solitude on the river.
You do?
I can see it in your face. The demons you are fighting, don't you know? We stopped checking for monsters under our bed when we realized they were inside of us. And here we go. Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? You have nothing to threaten me with. Woo! Look at you go! Oof. Never go for the balls. The victim ends up all fuzzy.
So what have we learned today at the action figure arena about Toys Era, the Ock? Well, in my opinion, he has very good sculpt despite not being a licensed figure. And it's made even better with the use of the goggles. At least I think so. His outfit contributes to dynamic posing with these wired coats. They're wired along the front edge, they meaning both the green and the brown coats are wired from the top down to the bottom and all the way around. But if we allow the coat to lay flat, it's kind of bell-shaped. That's my one nitpick for the appearance of this figure. His articulation, as far as I'm concerned, is just okay. It could be made a lot better with the use of double-jointed elbows, as well as waist or diaphragm movement. He really doesn't have that. His leg articulation is very good, so he can throw some decent kicks. But to be fair, Doc Ock did not battle Spider-Man with his fists or his feet. The standout feature, again, it's very obvious, would be the mechanical arms. Again, they are jointed, they are ball jointed, I should say, down every single link. So you really have almost infinite posing possibilities. Also, the gunmetal paint looks fantastic on these, and including the pincers. I don't know what else to call them. Claws, maybe. But those, of course, are articulated as well. So, overall, Toys Era the Ock is a definite must-have as far as I'm concerned. Folks, please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and hit the subscribe button so you'll be notified when I post new reviews with stop motion battles. Thank you, and I will see you soon from the action figure arena.